It's time better spent helping that it's not happening. I mean, we're also very aware of the debt, the actual financial debt that a lack of education creates. Jobs that could go to qualified Americans are going to people from other countries. Dropouts, becoming a drain on the economy because of their socioeconomic status and receiving federal money for food stamps and welfare and all that other stuff. People that once had the potential to be productive citizens falling into lifestyles of crime and entering prison, which is yet another huge drain. I watched Waiting for Superman a couple weeks ago, and they gave the statistics about how much it costs to keep someone in prison for, I don't know, 10 to 20 years, as opposed to investing in education. And let me tell you, free room and board, well, free for the inmates, and 3 square meals a day, healthcare and all that stuff. Prison costs a lot more than education. So why isn't anything being done? Could be more just conscious racism. Just conscious racism. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Educators are simply accepting the gap as a constant, maybe. Oh yeah, lazy educators. That's probably the problem right there. It's just the way things are. Oh yeah, just the way things are. Business. It's like business as usual. Yeah. So what you gonna do about it? Well, in the achievement gap, a broader picture, Rothstein says the gap cannot change without changing the social and economic lives of at-risk students. There are too many factors in home lives that have a negative impact. This next statement, it's in the article, was kind of discouraging to me. Changing instruction is not enough. It's about poverty, remember? So we can't, no matter how good of a teacher we are, that's not enough, according to Rothstein. Kind of hurts my feelings as a future teacher. So what do we, as educators, do? Rothstein proposes that school systems make a more expansive commitment to offer a full array of health services to students and to see if providing stable housing for low-income families helps with student achievement. He says that sociologists, economists, and educators have been aware of the socioeconomic connection to the achievement gap for half a century, 50 years at least. But no one is willing to experiment to see if changing the lives of students will produce results, which seems like an obvious solution. But once again, a lot easier said than done. I guess my point here is the achievement gap's going to stick around unless something drastic is done. Unless the future educators, which I guess is us, this MAT program, we're the future educators. If we don't get into some leadership positions and really try to shake things up, without strong education leaders that are willing to take risks like these and shake up the system, and a public that is willing to vote and support such a big change, the cycle will continue and worsen over time. But even if somebody had, research that, proved their point, said, hey, look, if we make these kids' home lives better, they will do better in school. You're still gonna have people that shout socialist and no, not with my taxpayer money. I'm not paying for their kids. Blah blah blah. It's It's pretty screwed up. But when you look at countries like Singapore, where the government completely overhauled the education system and made it free and available to all, and equal education. It wasn't any, like, they didn't divide it up like how we do our states here. It was the same education. You could go to any school in the country and get the same education. And now Singapore is one of the top performing countries in the world for education and mathematics. So we see how it works. I guess business as usual, right? This pretty much wraps up my thoughts. I have really enjoyed this course. I really liked everything I've been exposed to and all the information about socioeconomic problems in education and the racial issues and all of that. It's all really, really enlightening, and I think the fact that I am aware of this will help me as an educator in the future. I'm going to try to build those bridges and make those connections with my students so that I can have some kind of impact on their lives, even if the institution of our education system isn't going to change in their lifetime. But that's really pessimistic, so here's hoping that somebody does shake things up. Thank you, and thanks, Dr. Jekyll.